Let's begin with a clip of Peter Obi during his speech at a graduation ceremony after the weekend, over the weekend, is now making the rounds on the social media. In the video, the former governor of Anambra State and the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 elections emphasized that the future Nigeria will only have leaders who have attended school and are able to present their classmates. Obi advised their graduates to make an effort to know their classmates and preserve their certificates, as they will be crucial for their leadership aspirations in the future.
Remain with your classmates, because I can tell you, in the next Nigeria, you will not be a leader unless you've attended a school, unless people know your classmates, unless you have good certificates. We want to change it. So people will say, I want to pay setter, and they will say, yes, he was in class with this person, this person, this person. And he will be celebrated. And you will bring your certificate. Nobody will doubt it.
Okay, Obi train shit right there. On YouTube, where we got this reaction from, at Victory says, stray bullets hits Bala Blue. And for another user, he says, even I finished my primary school in 1974 and my secondary school in 1980. Still know my classmates. It is only Tinubu that doesn't know his schoolmate and his classmate. And Mahmoud Yakubu selected him to be his president. Your sins will surely find you out. And he says shameless things. But earlier in the week, someone in the APC camp, if you follow him on Twitter, Pastor Okezie, tweeted and he said, more like, you that have been asking, where are Tinubu's classmates? He posted this internet archive that had Tinubu in it. Like, all of these people here were Tinubu's classmates. I don't know what level, but netizens were also quick to notice something. If you see the arrow there signifies where Tinubu is, but the spelling of Tinubu, we really cannot say. I can't even attempt to pronounce it because it says Bola A Thuvh. And let's see what someone said in the next slide. Davis at Wallsheet says, Bola Anifowashe Thuvb, Bola Agbekoya, Bola Agbohan, Bola Agelu, Bola Abraham, Abina Bola Abracadabra, Thuv. That's Thuvh is Tinubu as presented in the previous slide, that he was trying to make a case that those were Tinubu's classmates. And he says, Biko, come clean which one exactly. Then back to Peter Obi, Abubakar says, I think Obi is not different from people he is talking about. Away from that, the Nigeria Police Force has disclosed that it will take action on the trending video of male students of Delta State University who dressed as women to mark this year's Student Union Government SUG Week. As part of the student final year activities, they organized a gender switch day that allowed the male student don female attire while the female student wore male costumes. The video of the event surfaced online, and it appears not to be sitting well with the police. And reacting to this, the former spokesperson, the first, please, is still the sitting spokesperson. The first spokesperson, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, says the police would take action and give necessary advice. But let's see how this also met netizens. Illustrious Girl says, take action on what exactly, them thief? For favor, he says, more free boys are beg, go take action where them call you. Now people when no harm anybody on top cultural day, you want to take action. Jennifer says something that DELSU always do, that students in Delta State University, it says something they always do every switch day during SUG week for how many years now, as if we don't have more pressing issues that need urgent attention in this country. For Joseph, it says, please, sir, do, now from clap, them they enter dance. The school should be sanctioned with immediate alacrity. Okay, now let's see. And then the Guinness World Records has declared that Cry-a-thon, that's a crying marathon, is not among the activities it can monitor and assess. The body was reacting to a Nigerian man, Tembu Ebere, who was making efforts to hold a title of the only person in the world that has cried for 100 hours non-stop. Ebere had partially gone blind in the process, had a swollen face and a severe headache because of the pressure and strain on his eyes and nerves. So Guinness World Records is saying that crying is not a breakable record, and so they can never monitor a crying marathon. And to say this, Patrick says, on top the blind where the guy don't blind, village people, nice one, on our work show clearly. For high tension, he says, how person go just decide to cry to break record? Now juju, not be juju be that. And Duke says, now he will know what it means to shed real tears. Now let's even go back to bring you how he crewed. The past tense of cry basically can be crude, depends on the intensity on social media. Let's see how he crewed while his everything lasted on the space of social media. Okay, so congratulations to him, or what do we even say to him at this point? And then finally today, a student who some of his classmates accused of not letting them copy from him while they were writing an exam has been beaten by his colleagues. He suffered head injuries because he covered his answer booklet. This is rather funny, right? When they were asking him to open it in a video online, he could be seen nursing his wounds after they allegedly smashed bottles on his head outside the exam hall.
You no gree open book, make person write. For this exam period, what is the verse? You no go open book, they go bust your head. Exam period, they cover book. They cover book, in the man. Primary school, you there, abi?
All right then, so I don't know, this is rather funny because I know that so many of us, maybe some of us can relate to this. So a lot of classes had that guy in their class, but as funny as it may be, it's definitely a wrong thing to do. But yeah, that's how we call it a day on Kakaki Social this week. Yeah, this day, happy hour. Please just ring me if there's anywhere you want to be, you know. Good morning.
I don't know if they will be with anywhere without asking you for money for fuel, so you better prepare for that. No one's giving you any free rides these
You know,
days.
I was actually careful not greeting you because you said any greeting without fuel for you.
Okay, I catch that. But you know, you talked about one of us being one of the guys in the last video. So it's either one of us is either the one breaking heads or the one that is covering the books. But I think that for something like that, every young person at one point covered their books or the other. I used to sit at the way back of the class at the left side, and I was close to the wall, so you can't even look over my book.
Was that deliberate for you?
That was deliberate. That was because the first time I was sitting in the second row, so you have people peeping on the left side, on the right side. So when the results come out, you find out that the people that peeped into your book actually get more than you, and you're like, where did this happen? But that is violence.
Yes, it is violence. For me, I was sometimes in that shoe, but except for people that we read together while we was in school, because there was this woman, Auntie Stella, who helped my life in school. Lord, but so when we come to class during exam, she would help before exams, do everything for me because I was already working at that time. So when it's exam period,
but not the exam questions though.
No, not the exam questions.
Okay.
So when it was that period for exam, I have to pay back. Like, she was married, she had kids in school, but she was very, very resourceful. So me that didn't have anything to bother about, I have to be there for her too at some point. So except
you
for
are her
her,
special Centarena.
it's not what you're thinking. It's not what you're thinking. You know, it was a money program and then there was a job already. Merging the two of them, you know, your bosses will not always understand. So you have to choose one over one at some point. But for exams, they will let you go and have your way. So that was the case. But I don't know. I think some people must have hated me. Well, I also hated some people because there was one course we did. I needed help with that course. They paid me that day. They showed me shake gay. I think it was something on law or something. So if you see me like this, I will have to read like four perspective of a judgment before I even know what they are talking about up till date. So it was really hard for me. But it's difficult, as you said, it's violence, as you said.
Yes.
And yeah, it's rather funny, an experience that people can reckon with, but it shouldn't have happened that way. And yes, the 10th Senators Association wife, they've inaugurated
the association, Senators Wives Association.
Yes, of Nigeria.